Hi, I'm Kaylee, and today I want to talk about what is the difference between a critique and a review, especially as it pertains to classics. The reason I decided to make this video is because I've been getting a lot of comments lately about my reviews of classics, and the people who make the comments seem to think that I am critiquing that classic instead of reviewing that classic. And I want to talk about the differences, at least as far as I can tell, or the way I think about it. And maybe you guys can comment and tell me, what do you think are the differences, or what do you think are the different elements that should go into a critique or a review. And I'll tell you some more about these people who've been leaving negative comments and really just very insulting comments on some of my classic reviews. Before we jump in, I want to make sure that you know that Books from K's is a charity that donates books to missionary kids. Today's MK shout out goes to Aiden, who is 4 years old and lives with his family in Japan. Like a typical 4-year-old boy, Aiden loves to read books about construction trucks and airplanes and trains. If you want to donate to Aiden and children like him, you can do so at gofundme.com. And don't forget to subscribe and click on that little notification bell. So the comments that I've been getting on some of my classic reviews, and these are reviews that go back years, like I'll get a comment on a review of a classic that I did 3 years ago or 2 years ago or earlier this year or something. And it just seems like the last couple of months, there've been a lot of really negative just people who just seem to find me. And they're saying things like, who do you think you are to review this wonderful classic? Usually these are reviews that are negative. These are the classics that I did not like. And then of course someone has to come on and say, you're an idiot because you didn't like the same book that I like. Which is just silly because we're not all going to like the same book. And just because it's a classic doesn't mean that I have to like it, that it's automatically going to speak to me, But I've had several different people who have been commenting things like, who do you think you are? And, what gives you the right to criticize this classic? And you dumb Americans just don't understand good literature. Someone actually said that. Dumb Americans. So, And I've had people say things like, this is not Twilight, this is not dystopian YA, this isn't written for teenagers, this is a classic. And I'm thinking, I know that, But what they're saying is, I'm a person who apparently I'm so dumb that I could only enjoy YA dystopian, as if only dumb people enjoy YA dystopian. That's a subject for a whole nother video. Why only stupid people would enjoy YA. Yeah, that's a whole nother video right there because I do love my YA too. So it's been very negative. It's been very insulting. I'm not even gonna tell you some of the stuff they said because I'm a lady and I don't repeat the kind of language. And it occurred to me that these snobs who think they know everything about classics, and apparently I know nothing because I didn't like the same classic as them, these snobs think that I am critiquing the classic, when actually I'm just reviewing it. So that's why I want to get into what's the difference and what should we expect from people on BookTube who are talking about classics. What kind of level of expertise should we expect from just regular everyday people, booktubers here, here we are making videos about classics, I don't know. To one of those people I actually responded, oh, maybe you missed the 12 shelves of classics. You guys can't even see them all on the camera. Hundreds of classics that I own, most of which I have read. I think there's probably only about 30 books on all these shelves out of hundreds. Probably it's only about 25 or 30 that I have not read yet because I'm still getting there. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's actually talk about what's a critique and what's a review. As far as I can tell, what most people I think would agree, for the purposes of what we're talking about today, a critique is written by an expert. Someone who has studied that field of literature, someone who knows. what is good. An expert writes a critique because they're criticizing it, hence the word critique. And a just normal person who is not an expert writes a review. I don't have a degree in literature. I do love literature and I've read a lot of it, but I don't have a degree in that. I've taken 2 literature classes in college, both of which I aced, because I do love literature. But that doesn't make me an expert. Anyone can write a review though. Any person, anywhere, of any level of education, if you can read, you can write a book review. even if you wrote an audiobook review, that's fine too. Another aspect, I think, of the difference, a critique is an evaluation of the merits of the book, the quality, the merit. Does this book have value? But a review is an evaluation of a personal enjoyment of the book, not the merits of the book, but whether or not it was enjoyable. Therefore, even a person who maybe does not have the training to recognize quality and merits in literature, they could still, evaluate, did I personally enjoy this book? You don't have to know whether or not the book has value. What matters is, did you enjoy it? Did it have value for you? Really what it comes down to is a critique is a judicial judgment, an appraisal of the quality of the writing and the book. And a review is about your personal experience. Another thing about critiques is it's about the historical significance and the historical value, especially in classics, as tastes would change and as different writing styles will become more prominent. There are very historically significant books that contributed to culture and history. With a review, it's about personal significance and the personal value to me. Was it significant to me? I don't care about history at this point. I care about me. Did I like it? Was it significant in my life? Did it have an influence on me? Because experts are the ones who write the critiques, they can do an objective, technical assessment of the quality of the book. Very technical, so they will get down into the nitty-gritty and analyze, and it's objective, so they're kind of standing personally away from the book and objectively assessing the book. But when, as anybody reviews a book, it's not objective, it is subjective. It's a subjective opinion based on my own likes and dislikes, my own biases, my own, tastes. And it's an opinion not about the quality of the book necessarily, but about the entertainment that I found in the book. Or maybe if it's not a novel, then the information. Did I find that information valuable or influential for me? A critique has to be objective. It has to be solely intellectual. It's an intellectual judgment, an intellectual assessment of the book. But a review is both intellectual and emotional. Our emotions play a big part in how we think about the book and how we enjoy the book and how we give a star rating to the book. One of the things that I think really trips me up with a lot of classics and a lot of different modern classics, especially in books, is the idea of themes and philosophy, like the underlying philosophy and the worldview of the author. When you're writing a critique, any philosophy has merit. You accept whatever philosophy that the author is putting forth, and as long as they, describe it, and as long as they write it in a powerful and vivid and coherent manner, then, you're not there to critique the philosophy, you're there to critique the delivery of the philosophy, if that makes sense. However, in a review, I have my own personal philosophy and my way that I look at the world and the way that I think about right and wrong and themes of love and hate and things. And so if the author's underlying philosophy underneath their story differs from mine in a significant way, then I'm not going to enjoy that story and I'm going to give it a low star rating. It doesn't matter how great their writing style is or even how wonderful their characters are. It just doesn't matter. Because of that philosophy, because I cannot see the world the way that author sees the world. And I just think, nope, I cannot connect with that. And so I'm not going to enjoy it, and I'm not going to recommend it to others, and I'm not going to like it. Now, I think maybe that's one where I get tripped up a lot, where people say to me, you just don't understand this book. You just don't understand this classic, and that's why you didn't like it. No, I understood it. Believe me, I understood it. I just didn't like the philosophy. I couldn't connect with it because it is so foreign from my way of thinking. And the way I think about right and wrong is not the way they think about right and wrong. And I cannot accept that. So one of the main things about critiques is it's impersonal, and reviews are personal. So there's really no wrong way to write a review. If you didn't like it, that's your personal opinion. That doesn't mean you didn't understand it, or that you're stupid because you don't appreciate good literature, or, whatever kind of stuff. A lot of the time, I can appreciate that the writing is good, but I just didn't like the story. Or I can appreciate that the characters are vivid and lively and have lots of character development, but I just hated the characters as people. I just didn't like them. I have actually done 2 different videos on how I write reviews. What are the things I look for? What are the things that I think about when I'm writing my review and thinking about what was something I liked, what was something I didn't like? And so I will link those down below and probably up here somewhere so you can see more details about how I think when I write reviews. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know, what are books that you have read where people said to you, you just didn't understand it just because you didn't like it. And leave me a comment down below and let me know, what do you think? Do you think this is how you think of the difference between a critique and a review? Do you have some other ideas, or maybe some more in-depth thoughts about what are the differences, or what are the differences between how people think when they're doing a critique or a review? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.